Hello, welcome to our November general meeting for the Old Speedway City Neighborhood Association. I appreciate everybody who's joining us in person and online. If you are online and you'd like to add questions for our question and answer time, please go ahead and do that in the comments. We are going to be joined by Deandra Majors from Oak Street Health. She's going to come and explain all the services that are available at Oak Street and just maybe tell us why you picked Speedway. Thank you very much.
Hello. So I am Deandra. I am an outreach executive for Oak Street Health. I am specifically located at the Speedway location here at 5926 Crawfordsville Road. We are located over in what we refer to as the Kroger Plaza because everyone knows where Kroger is, right? Some of the things that are special about Oak Street specifically. If you are unaware, Oak Street Health is a primary care doctor's office for adults with Medicare. So that is our specific population. What makes that special is you're not competing with doctor's offices who take all kinds of insurance and, it takes a long time and long waits for you to be able to get in to see your doctor. We specialize in being able to most often do same day or next day appointments, and definitely this week. So if you call your regular doctor's office, sometimes you're not able to get in for a couple of weeks, but with us, if you call me tomorrow, I can have you in by the end of the week. We offer transportation at our location. So sometimes, dealing with an older crowd, people don't drive anymore, or even when the weather is bad, if they do drive, they don't want to drive in the snow. That's awesome. Within a 10-mile radius of our location, we will come and pick you up, bring you to your appointment, and then take you back home. One of the things that are also specific to our location, being that we are located in the shopping plaza, you can come over there, go to your appointment, and oftentimes people will go shop. They'll go to Dollar Tree or they'll go to Kroger and get their belongings and then come back to the clinic, and we will take them and all their things home. So that's one of the perks of where we are specifically located. We also have a community room in our location, and the community room has events all the time. I have calendars with me as well today, so if any of you would like a calendar, it will show all of the things that we do in center. There is bingo and line dancing and chair yoga, knitting classes. They do even crafting on some days, and those things are not specific to Oak Street patients. Those are open to the community. So that's for everyone to come and be a part of. Also, a little segue to if you were maybe interested in coming in and seeing what the clinic looks like, but didn't necessarily want to be seen as a patient there, that's kind of a segue. You can maybe come in and do one of our activities or be a part of something going on. We also have a birthday party that we have started implementing. So every month we'll have a birthday party for everyone who has a birthday that month. And that is also something that's open to the community. So you can come and be a part of Oak Street without being a patient at Oak Street, and we're hoping that once you come in and you kind of see the atmosphere and the energy of the people, you'll want to at least do a visit. What we do right now is what's called a welcome visit. So a welcome visit is literally that. We welcome you into the clinic. You can come and do a visit, and what we call is get the full patient experience. You can see what it's like to be a patient at Oak Street Health. If we did things well and you like the experience, we do always invite you to come and be a patient at Oak Street. But you don't necessarily have to change your doctor or change your insurance or anything like that to come for the initial visit. If you are wanting to come back and then be a patient, then if you have a different primary care doctor, we would then ask that you change your doctor and make Oak Street Health your primary care provider. With that, if you are associated with another hospital, right? So say you go to Community or St. Vincent, those things don't change. Oak Street is not specifically affiliated with any particular hospital. So if you come and be a patient at Oak Street Health, you are still free to go to any of those hospitals. Or if you had specialists or things like that, you would still go to your specialist. We don't change that. We would just be your primary care doctor. We currently have 6 providers on staff at Oak Street Health. And we've got a mix. We've got bilingual staff. So if you speak Spanish, we're able to assist you. They also have translation services. So if you don't speak Spanish and you don't speak English, whatever language it is that you have, they usually are able to call and at least get a translator on the phone. Or sometimes they can have someone, if they know in advance, to meet you at your appointment and translate everything for you. I've bought one of our little brochures today, so it just says, Oak Street Health Together. Our motto is transforming healthcare as it should be. So that's what we are wanting to bring to our community. We just want the older crowd to be treated fairly, compassionately, and to have their needs met. Oftentimes when people get older, you'll find that they don't take their prescriptions like they should, or they don't have things, and they don't want to ask, right? So they'll be sitting and they're out of their prescriptions, and they'll start trying to take their medicine once a day instead of twice a day or every other day, kind of doing things to make it last for themselves without reaching out for help. And that's what we do. We go out into the community as outreach, and we try to touch the people in our community and let them know we are here for you, we're available for you. So we have services. Once you are a patient at Oak Street Health, we also offer home services. So if you at least come in the initial time and then it's a situation where you're not able to get out, we have Oak Street Health Home Care that would go out and see you in your home. But like I said, that's once we've established care with you. Are there any specific questions that have come up, or any questions that you all have?
Thank you very much. I had a couple things come up. What's Oak Street based out of? Like, where are they from?
And that you asked that question. I don't know the answer to that right this minute. I am still new, so I just joined in June, and I didn't expect anyone to ask me that specific question, so I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for you.
I guess the question was like, is Oak Street in other states? So if you're out of town,
Oak Street is absolutely
Oak Street
in other states. So states that I know specifically, I know that we are in all of Indiana. We've got places up in Gary. We're down in Kentucky. We're up in Chicago. So it is not just Indiana. There are other states, and I don't know all of the states that we are located in at this time, but it is not just Indiana.
I think that was what the question was. Like, if they went out of town, like, what is it called? Like, if something happens out of town, could you still find Oak Street to get services, just in case?
Right. And so what I can do is get that information and then get that back to you. So if we've got a way to get that information out to everyone, we can, and I can have the answer for you tomorrow.
Because we have some snowbirds in Speedway. Like, they don't like to stay here in the winter, which is coming soon. And I think that was one of the reasons why they had it. And then also, I guess, maybe, I know you're kind of new to Speedway, but what are some of the biggest needs or services that your patients seem to be needing? You talked about, like, feeling isolated in your community, not having a chance to get out and do stuff. So is that kind of like the biggest need you've seen so far with your patients, or is there something else that,
that is one of the biggest needs that we've seen. Transportation is one of the huge issues that we see, mostly because we deal with an older population, and their prescriptions are sometimes something that they are worried about. So we do have mail-in prescription services. It's a thing, so you can get signed up for that through your insurance. Mostly it's beneficial for them to do a 90-day supply, and that way they've kind of got things on hand. That's one of the things that we've had people worried about. Also, sometimes housing, specific to the dynamic of the people that we serve, they'll have housing issues, sometimes food shortages, things like that. But we also have medical social workers on staff that we would pair them with and get them help with those things. Also, sometimes they'll see a commercial on TV and they'll talk about Medicare, but then they don't know the whole capacity of the benefits that are available to them. So in our office, we have a PRM, which in our center specifically is Marie. She's awesome. She will sit down with them and go over all of their benefits and find out things that maybe they're eligible for that they didn't know that they were eligible for. And so we have what's called an IA of the day. And that's an insurance agent, and it's a different one that comes in and sits. So they'll talk to them and go over things. If there's something that they are eligible for and they do not yet have, they'll sign them up for those benefits. Most of the plans that they offer, we accept. So if it's Humana or United Healthcare or Aetna or many of the other ones, we accept almost all of those. So we'll pair them up, get them with benefits. A lot of the benefits, if you are dual eligible, that means you are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid. Many of them have food services tied to them, so they can get them monthly money for food. I think this year coming up, those things also, if the money isn't utilized for food with certain plans, can also go towards utilities. So there's a help for that. And like I said, the medical social workers are able to give them services and things that maybe we're not aware of that they need. So they can talk privately, and they're able to help with individuals based on what their specific needs are.
Somebody says, like, that sounds great. So how, again, do you sign up for, like, how old do you have to be, and how do you sign up for Medicaid and Medicare? Does it just happen at 62 or 65?
So actually, it's not a specific age. Generally speaking, Medicare happens at 65. However, there are specific situations. If you have been on disability for 2 consecutive years, you can also qualify for Medicare. So we don't like to say that there's an age constraint to it, although, like I said, generally it's 65. But we will sometimes get younger adults that have been on disability that are also on Medicare, and we are able to see them too. So any adult on Medicare is able to be seen at Oak Street as long as they have Medicare Part B.
I'm not that age yet, so how does that look? I mean, do you start do you just go to how does it start?
So I am not a Medicare expert. I am just an Oak Street health outreach executive. However, what we know, Medicare is something that once you turn 65 is kind of automatically done by the state if you have worked your quota. So I say that if you have been a stay-home mom most of your life and maybe you just started working, you might not yet be eligible to qualify for your Medicare benefits. So if you have worked enough time and put time into the pot, once you turn 65, Medicare is kind of an automatic benefit. At least Medicare Part A is, and I think maybe B is something that you can get signed up for. So it's generally the 65 age that all that kicks in.
Okay. And then, sorry, the last question, and I'll let someone of you answer too. How do you set up for the transportation?
So if you call in or walk in or you reach out to one of us, and I've got, even this has got my information on the back here, so if you were to email or give us a call or call the clinic and said, hey, I'm interested in coming in for a visit, but I don't have transportation. Once we schedule that visit for you, we would also schedule transportation for you. You let us know where to come and pick you up at. If you've not seen them, we have the green Oak Street Health vans that you've seen around. When those vans come to pick you up, they'll give you a call and say, hey, I'm outside, I'm here, so you'll know exactly when to come out. Transportation is there and available for you. There are occasions where we don't have a green van available, so we will send lifts out to pick people up too. But we talk to people about that and make sure that that's okay. We'll also call and inform them that a lift would be coming instead of Oak Street transportation. And because Oak Street vans are handicap accessible, so if you've got a walker or you're in a wheelchair, we're making sure that we send out the right transportation for you. If you don't have any of those issues and we're not specifically needing to send that, then we'll send a lift so we can reserve that for the people who need those specifically. Sometimes, though, you'll have people who are a little leery and they're like, oh, I don't recognize that transportation, or maybe you're not comfortable because it's just a Lyft driver. So if you specifically want an Oak Street van to come and pick you up, just let us know that when you're speaking to us, and we'll make sure we reserve your transportation specifically for the Oak Street vans.
That's all my good questions.
Any other questions?
No, I just appreciate you coming out for Oak Street. So now that you've been in Speedway, is there any kind of special thing about patients in Speedway that you're enjoying so far as a new person in the Speedway? I don't gotta put you on the spot.
Oh my, for me, myself, I kind of enjoy people in general. I previously worked at Riley, so I'm used to dealing with the children. So it is a big jump for me, but I enjoy it nonetheless. I feel like I am now personally able to help people that need the help, kind of. So My dad himself, he was not a patient at Oak Street prior to me becoming an outreach executive at Oak Street. My father's 69. Hadn't been to the doctor in years because, he was like, no, I'm a man, I'm healthy, I'm well, I don't need to see the doctor. But I convinced him to come in, and he's a prime example. You got things going on, and maybe you're too prideful, or you just don't want to reach out. You don't think that people are going to care enough. And so being able to be that voice for someone who may not speak up for themselves has been the biggest thing. We'll go out into some of the senior communities, and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you guys offered that, or I didn't know that was even a possibility. And just having just a common conversation to ask them, what are they needing? And being able to offer that to them or be able to help find assistance for them is the thing that's gratifying for me. So being able to see my dad, who I know needed things but would not reach out and ask, and he is now also a patient at Oak Street and has been back several times, and he's very grateful. He's like, daughter, thank you so much for convincing me to come, because I think that this was a really good thing. They've been able to help him in more than one capacity, and so I can reach other people like my dad. So for me, it's a good thing.
And then also, somebody last one had asked, you talked about the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Does Oak Street do like Facebook and put their calendar on Facebook? Because we have a Facebook page, but I don't know if you guys do that or if we can just like get a copy and just put it up on our Facebook page. So somebody was wondering, can we put that up so we can see that?
Yes. So
I could give a copy to you. I don't think that we actually specifically have this up and posted anywhere, but you guys are free and welcome to have one of these and to post it as well. So we put one of these out every month, and anyone is free and welcome to come into the center and just pick one up. They are right at the front desk, usually in a basket. Miss Jenny is usually there, and like I said, it's got everything on there for the month, and those are open to anybody in the community to come and take part in.
So actually, I guess the last questions are, what are your hours? Because I know this is just Monday through Friday, right?
Yes, so our hours there are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They generally would see our last patients. They try not to schedule after 4 p.m. because then that runs a little bit later. So that's 8 to 4 is usually our scheduling window. And so our activities are usually in that same window. There's not very many things that we hold after hours unless it's off-site. So sometimes we'll have events and things like that, or not on the premises that would go beyond the hours. But generally, yeah, it's 8:30 to 5, and scheduling usually between 8 and 4.
That's all of our questions. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
You get your talent and stuff by it. Thank you all for watching online and being here in person. We do have this posted on the Speedway Community YouTube channel, so if you'd like to watch this again, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to very briefly go over our agenda for today, just to remind you just things that are coming for our November and December. We still have our financial report, and I know we haven't had any change in our budget, so it was at $2,953.50. I know that we might see an increase on that because the thing that we'll be working on mostly for November and December is our membership drive. So if you have not filled out your 2023 membership form, it is available online. I will link it to our Facebook page. It was attached to our newsletter that we sent out, and then also if you come to any of our meetings, we'll have forms. I did do trunk or treat, and so I passed out some forms then, and I'll also be doing the Light Up the Main. So if you guys are on Main Street for Light Up the Main, you can come in and grab your order forms. If you just need one sent to you as well, feel free to reach out to us at our email address and we'll get that sent to you. So then we also are looking to prepare for our 2023 board drive. So if you are a member and you are interested in being part of our board, you are more than welcome to join. You can reach me or our Vice President, Regina, or you can even email. We would love to have people on our board because it just gives us more ways of getting ideas to what to do for our community. A couple things just to keep in mind too. The Speedway Arts Council is going to be setting up to do some stuff for Light Up the Main with their pop-up shops. So if you do want to support local artists, they are going to be available. Our historic urban neighborhood organization just met, and Regina did watch that. So if you'd like to have any information from that meeting, we can share with you. I think their main focus was looking at how was downtown Indy kind of preparing for the holiday season and also improving the safety of downtown. And then I don't know if everybody saw this too, but there are a lot of leaves in Speedway because we have a lot of beautiful trees, but the Speedway Streets Department and the Speedway Code did want to remind everyone that they should not rake or blow leaves into the street. You could be using any yard waste bags, and you can have as many as possible on yard waste day pickup, but I did want to remind everybody that you should keep your leaves off the street. We do have a couple things happening in November. As members, we'd like to just know what's going on. From November 7th today to December 16th, there is a holiday food drive that's happening in the Speedway area. There is going to be a drop-off box here at the Speedway Municipal Center, and we are also going to be getting involved as well, looking to see one of our local businesses will house one of our boxes so we can also participate as an organization, and so I'll send out some information on that. Tomorrow is election day, and I hope everybody is going to vote. There is a voting place here at the Speedway Municipal Center. If you do not know where the closest voting is, you can go to indy.gov/elect or /vote, and they can go by your address and tell you what the closest voting is. For voting in Indiana, you can go to any polling place to vote. You do not have to go to your, voting place anymore. You just have to make sure that you have a current state or driver's license with ID, but you also can use your passport, and you also use your military ID as well. Our town council meetings are on the 14th and 28th. There is a Speedway Neighborhood Watch meeting that's either going to be in person here or on Zoom from 6 to 7:30, and I know they are going to invite again the manager of the Brixar, who owns and what Oak Street is at, as well as our Kroger. And so if you have concerns or things to discuss about that area of Speedway, they are going to have that meeting. And lastly, on November 28th is our Speedway Redevelopment Commission. I know I haven't really heard too much from the Chamber of Commerce, but I know also after Thanksgiving we have a really great support local businesses, and so some of those businesses actually give us discounts, which is great. So if you can go shopping on that small business Saturday after Thanksgiving, those businesses would really appreciate your support. Our next board meeting is November 21st, and is a Zoom. If you'd like to participate in the Zoom, you're more than welcome to give me an email or a call, and I can add you to it. And our next general meeting is December 5th, 2022, which is again here at the Speedway Municipal Center. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Have a great night. Thank you.